Deportation Nation. This opinion examines how the Trump administration's immigration policies are used to target political opponents. They were waiting for Mahmoud Khalil outside his apartment building in New York City. This opening sentence serves as the thesis statement by introducing the subject of the op-ed, the arrest of activist Mahmoud Khalil. Last Saturday evening, Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents arrested the Columbia University student activist and put him in immigration detention. Immigration and Customs Enforcement is the U.S. agency enforcing immigration laws. This sentence means that ICE detained a prominent student activist as part of the new immigration policy. Khalil's wife produced paperwork showing that he was a legal permanent resident or a green card holder, but the agents continued to handcuff him and took him away. Legal permanent resident is a term for someone lawfully allowed to live in the U.S. indefinitely. Green card holder is a term for a legal permanent resident of the U.S. This sentence means that despite proof of lawful status, Khalil was detained. His wife, 8 months pregnant, could do nothing to help. This sentence highlights the personal tragedy and helplessness experienced by his family. Mahmoud Khalil's case is notable for many reasons. This sentence signals that the case has multiple significant aspects to be examined. First, it represents the overhaul of immigration being undertaken by the Trump administration. Overhaul means a comprehensive, radical change. This sentence means that Khalil's arrest is emblematic of sweeping changes in U.S. immigration policy. In general, a green card holder is a legal permanent resident of the United States and not a visa holder. Visa holder is a term for someone temporarily permitted to stay in the U.S. under specific conditions. This sentence explains the normal legal status of a green card holder compared to a visa holder. This usually means they cannot be arbitrarily arrested by Immigration and Customs Enforcement and threatened with deportation. Arbitrarily means without clear reason or justification. Deportation means the forced removal of a person from a country. This sentence means that typically permanent residents enjoy protection from random detention and deportation. However, the Trump administration appears to have decided that they can argue that green card holders can also face deportation proceedings. Deportation proceedings is a term for the formal legal process to remove someone from the U.S. This sentence means that the administration is challenging conventional protections for permanent residents. In court, the Trump administration is relying on a section of the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1952, which allows the U.S. Secretary of State to authorize the deportation of a green card holder if they act in contravention of U.S. foreign policy. Contravention means violation or breach. Immigration and Nationality Act of 1952 inches is a major U.S. immigration law. Foreign policy means a government strategy in dealing with other nations. This sentence means that legal provisions are being used to justify deporting permanent residents who oppose U.S. policy. Mahmoud Khalil is a prominent activist in the Free Palestine movement and was involved in the student encampments protesting the Israeli bombardment of Gaza last summer. Student encampments means temporary protest camps set up by students. This sentence means that Khalil's political activism makes him a target under the administration's policies. Second, the case is important because it shows how the Trump administration can effectively disappear its political opponents who are not U.S. citizens. Disappear is used metaphorically to mean remove from public view. Political opponents means individuals who oppose the administration's views or actions. This sentence means that the case serves as a broader warning to political dissenters who are non-citizens. Khalil was detained and not allowed to call his lawyers. Detained means held in custody by authorities. This sentence means that his legal rights were curtailed by the detention process. For a good while, no one knew where he had been taken. This sentence means that his location was kept secret, deepening the sense of injustice. It turned out he had been transported thousands of miles away to an immigration detention center in Louisiana. Transported thousands of miles away emphasizes the extensive relocation. Immigration Detention Center is a facility where immigrants are held pending legal action. This sentence means that Khalil was moved far from his local area, possibly to isolate him further. His lawyers in New York filed a case and got a judge to order a stay on Khalil's deportation. Stay is a legal term, meaning a temporary halt to a proceeding. This sentence means that legal action was taken to temporarily halt his deportation. In a Wednesday hearing, however, the judge did not order Khalil to be freed. Hearing means a legal session before a judge. This sentence means that despite legal intervention, Khalil remained in detention. At the hearing, his lawyers complained to the judge that they had not been able to have private conversations with him and that the detention center officials had told them they did not have the ability to arrange for them. Private conversations means confidential talks, typically a legal right for detainees. This sentence means that the lawyers faced obstacles in communicating with Khalil, further undermining his rights. The judge ordered that such conversations be made possible. This sentence means that the court intervened to ensure Khalil could speak privately with his counsel. The case should be a lesson for anyone on a visa or green card in the U.S. Visa is a term for a document allowing temporary stay in a country. This sentence means that Khalil's experience serves as a warning to all non-citizens about potential deportation risks. While it is unclear whether Pakistan will be on the travel ban list that the Trump administration is set to issue on March 21st, restrictions on non-citizens' rights will likely impact people in the diaspora. Travel ban list is a term for a policy restricting entry from certain countries. Diaspora means a scattered population from a particular country living abroad. This sentence means that the policy may affect Pakistani expatriates even if Pakistan is not explicitly banned. In this case, there was no violation of any immigration law or procedure. Immigration law means the legal rules governing entry and stay in a country. This sentence means that Khalil's detention occurred without any legal wrongdoing on his part. If Khalil had been an American citizen, his activism would have been given cover by the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, which protects political speech. First Amendment is a technical term for the U.S. constitutional protection of free speech. Given cover is an idiomatic expression meaning provided protection. This sentence means that if he were a citizen, his political activities would be legally protected. However, the Trump administration seems to have decided these protections for free speech do not apply to green card holders. Free speech means the right to express opinions without censorship. This sentence means that the administration is selectively denying constitutional rights to permanent residents. Undoubtedly, the case is meant as a warning for all those on visas and green cards who must now worry about being deported if they say anything against the administration's politics or foreign policy. This sentence means that Khalil's case is intended to deter political dissent among non-citizens. As part of this project of excluding everyone with whom they have a political qualm, border agents at airports have started using AI tools to scan the information on the mobile phones of people arriving at U.S. ports. Political qualm means a disagreement or objection based on politics. Using AI tools is a phrase meaning employing artificial intelligence technology. Border agents means officials controlling entry at national boundaries. This sentence means that advanced technology is now used to monitor non-citizens for any dissenting views. If they find any information that can be construed as opposing U.S. foreign policy a la Trump, or if, for example, you are arriving on a student visa and have text on your phone about a job, then this can be used as the basis for sending you back home. Construed as means interpreted as. A la Trump is a phrase meaning in the style or manner of Trump. Student visa is a term for a visa allowing temporary stay for education. This sentence means that even minor dissent can be interpreted as oppositional, triggering deportation. In Khalil's case, he had completed a master's degree at Columbia University, but was married to a U.S. citizen. This sentence means that despite his strong ties to the U.S., he remains vulnerable under current policies. It is likely, however, that he was still in the 2-year probationary period during which a green card based on marriage is deemed conditional. Probationary period is a term for a trial phase with stricter oversight. Conditional means subject to certain restrictions or terms. This sentence means that because he was in the probationary period, he faced heightened scrutiny. This period opens the green card holder to greater scrutiny. Scrutiny means close examination or monitoring. This sentence means that the conditional status increases the risk of detention or deportation. Pakistani citizens who have green cards but do not reside in the U.S. full-time will likely face pressure to either move to the U.S. permanently or abandon their green cards. This sentence means that non-resident green card holders are at risk of losing their status unless they live in the U.S. continuously. This is especially true if they spend more than 5 months a year away from the U.S. on a regular basis. This sentence means that extended absences heighten the risk of deportation. The Trump administration wants to make it impossible for people to hold green cards if they do not live in the U.S. full-time. This sentence means that the policy aims to restrict green card privileges solely to full-time residents. In recent weeks, many of these individuals have been pressured to sign a form at the airport in which they agree to give up their cards. This sentence means that non-residents are being forced to surrender their green cards at the airport. One hopes that Pakistani officials will be able to convince Trump administration officials to keep Pakistan off the travel ban list. This sentence means that the author wishes Pakistan avoids a travel ban. If they are unable to do so, the situation is likely to become extremely difficult for Pakistani Americans and Pakistani students, doctors, and engineers. This sentence means that a ban would severely impact Pakistanis in the U.S. If the ban is passed, then perhaps the only way to obtain a visa to the U.S. would be through marriage to an American citizen. This sentence means that marriage might become the sole visa path if a ban hits. Those who already have visas but are not currently in the U.S. will likely not be able to go. This sentence means that visa holders outside the U.S. could be barred from entry. Those who have visas but are currently in the U.S. may be able to stay there until their visas expire, but will have trouble renewing their visas if they leave. This sentence means that U.S.-based visa holders face renewal woes if they exit. The age of immigration to the U.S. appears, at least in the short term, to be over. This sentence means that U.S. immigration seems to be closing down temporarily. For decades, the U.S. considered immigration violations to be a civil issue now. However, everyone who makes the tiniest mistake, and sometimes even those who make no mistake at all, are not just visa violators, but criminals. The writer is an attorney teaching constitutional law and political philosophy. Rafia.Zakaria@gmail.com. Published in Dawn, March 15, 2025.